We don't yet know exactly what these three objects were, but nothing right now suggests they were related to China's spy balloon program. We seek competition, not conflict with China. We're not looking for a new Cold War. I will remain in communication with President Xi.
First comments the president made personally since that Chinese spy balloon was shot down 2 weeks ago. President Biden also said he was not sorry for taking it down. And as you heard him, he also claims the three other objects shot down last weekend were not from China. Now, there was an interesting report that one of the objects shot a $400,000 missile could have been just a $12 hobby balloon. There was a report from an Illinois club saying it feared that one of its tracked balloons recently went missing. It told Aviation Week that. They think it was one of those that were taken out over Canada. It was a Pico balloon. They said a silver-coated object that lost its position. But, you know, we spoke to our Newsmax contributor, Brigadier General Blaine Holt says, yeah, it's probably impossible that the Air Force would shoot one of those very small balloons down. But again, with so much floating out there, that is definitely a question that one Illinois enthusiast wanted to put out there. All right, let's get some more insight and analysis. Former Trump 2016 foreign policy advisor, Newsmax contributor George Papadopoulos with us this Friday, and alongside him, Newsmax foreign policy analyst, author of the new book, Iran, an Imperialistic Republic and U.S. Policy, Dr. Walid Phares. Great to have you with me, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll start with you, George. Okay, the messaging, you know, they're saying it could be, you know, a hobby group says it might be our balloon. There's obviously so many questions. If the White House were just a little bit more forthcoming, the president himself, it seems like people would be able to feel a little bit more comfortable. And I guess the biggest question, too, is what is this lack of transparency signaling to our enemies who are watching this all unfold?
Well, President Biden has actually been one of the least transparent and accessible presidents to the media and to the American public writ large in modern American history. So it's there's no confusion as to why the president has decided to obfuscate and to dissemble in regards to this very serious potential security crisis that the United States might be facing with our preeminent competitor, and that is China. What the United States has to do right now under the Biden administration is be wholly transparent with the American public. Let the American public know exactly what the United States is currently facing from China, and then engage the Chinese where they can and confront them where they must. And that requires always holding a military option that goes along with robust diplomacy. And that's something that we are witnessing today with the head of the Chinese Department of the Pentagon going to Taiwan, and with President Biden offering to meet with the Chinese leader.
Yeah, Biden said he wants competition and not conflict with Beijing. We just heard some of his comments, Walid. Some say it's not really the right messaging. But, we're talking about the balloons. Let's put that aside. What we're not talking about, perhaps, that we need to be is this NORAD report saying Russian strategic bombers, nuclear bombers, fighter jets intercepted by U.S. Defense Forces. That was near Alaska. Clearly, many believe Putin's just probing how far he can push. What do you make of that alarming report?
Bianca, this was my next point to you, to this panel, is that there is a backdrop that the public needs to understand. These were not isolated incidents. Should it be China, or now you're mentioning Russia, the whole membership of that club, or the axis, Russia, China, North Korea has been playing also many games. And of course, now we have Iran. Iran is sending warships to Brazil, to Venezuela, docking their ships in the Panama Canal. And of course, the Chinese and the Russians have been engaging in approaches to the continent, should it be in Alaska or other places. So the incidents of the balloons, and you said so rightly, are not isolated. They're part of a pressure. And if you want to date back that pressure by these hostile forces or competitive forces, go back to the summer of 2021. When we withdrew abruptly from Afghanistan, then you're going to see a mechanism by all these actors to become more aggressive vis-a-vis our national security.
We just have about a minute left. I want to get you both to just kind of sum it up here. I mean, Obviously, we're at where we're at right now. These are very dangerous times in the world. The messaging clearly with China doesn't seem to be the right one. George, do you have any silver lining through any of this? Is there some diplomatic, something in Munich perhaps that you think could come through, or we would have some stability at least with what's happening?
I want to tail off of what Walid just stated regarding that this didn't happen in a vacuum. This all really starts and ends with feckless U.S. leadership. We see it in the European theater today, when just today at the Munich Security Conference, the leader of Germany stated that, yes, we are sending tanks to Ukraine. The Americans have decided to send some tanks, but our partners in Europe have decided not to also send tanks. And the reason all of NATO has not decided to arm Ukraine or to support them with tanks after they pressure Germany is because they don't have faith in this administration. We're also seeing that in Southeast Asia.
We're tight on time. I just want to get Walid to do that. That's right. We're sending tanks, we're sending things, but they may not be there for a year, Walid. I mean, it seems like right now that we have a foreign, an issue here that is spiraling out of control in some ways.
Look, quickly, I agree with George fully. We have a disagreement in America. We don't have a consensus on national security and foreign policy for the last 2 years. So the opportunity now is for this administration on all these fronts to consult deeply with Congress, especially with the new majority, because this is the only way the American public will trust our decisions on national security, foreign policy, especially with regard to Ukraine, the Middle East, China, and Iran.
All right, great analysis as always. Good to have you gentlemen in. George, Walid, have a fantastic weekend. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bianca.